All right, Nick, let's talk about how impressive this feat is, getting to the NBA Finals 4 straight times.
My answer may surprise you guys here, but I find this wildly impressive. I understand they're the most talented team ever. I understand they added Kevin Durant, but I am enough of a student of NBA history. I watched a Laker team with Shaq and Kobe in their primes. 3 straight NBA championships, get bounced in round 2. I watched a Piston team go to 3 straight NBA Finals, get swept before they got back to a 4th. You want to go all the way back to the 71 Lakers. They lose in the conference finals after going to 3 straight NBA Finals. It is hard to get to 4 straight. There's a reason why Magic's Lakers did it once, Bird's Celtics did it once, LeBron's franchise unto himself did it once in Miami and now once in Cleveland, and now these guys. And that's it in the last 60 years of NBA history. And they haven't done it without being on the brink. They had to play 3 consecutive elimination games to get to their 2nd NBA Finals, including a Game 6 on the road against OKC before they had Kevin Durant. They had to play back-to-back elimination games, including a Game 7 on the road, to get to their 4th straight NBA Finals. I do not take this for granted. I might not love the way the Warriors constructed their team. I might not love some of the personalities on that team. But to get here when I doubted if they could. I talked about all year long how hard 4 straight is, how the injuries can catch up. And that's one other thing I'll say is, I give them credit, they've stayed healthy. That's hard, man. Some of that's luck, but some of that's a skill. And their ability to have essentially their entire team intact this time of year, every year, is very impressive to me. So I give them a ton of credit for this.
I would say I'm not as impressed as with you, because to me it's not 4 years in a row making it to the finals. It's 2 different stories. All right? You have the Warriors, the first edition, and that got to the finals, won. Next year came back, best record in NBA, 73 wins, NBA record, but blew a championship to the Cleveland Cavaliers, up 3-1. So what they do? They went out and got the 2nd best player in the world. So for me, they haven't been to 4 straight with Kevin Durant. They went to 2. They had a great collection of players, one of the best collection of players we've seen. Then they went out and got the 2nd best player available. And with Kevin Durant, they've gone to 2 straight. I haven't been that impressed with it. They went 7 games one time in this last 2 years with Kevin Durant. They weren't pushed last year in the playoffs at all. They got pushed 1 time this year in the playoffs. So to me, it's not as impressive because of when they went out and got Kevin Durant. If they had done this without Kevin Durant, this would be one of probably the most impressive things that I've seen in the NBA in the last 30 years. But when you go out and get KD, when you were already a 73-win team, you didn't get an old, washed-up KD like a lot of these other great teams tried to do. They tried to retread the tires on other great players.
Karl Malone, Gary Payton.
Yeah, but no, they went out and got the 2nd best player in his prime. So I'm not overly impressed with 4 years in a row, because it's really about 2 and 2.
Were you more impressed, though, with the Warriors' run-up this year than last year? I know you think that this past year was a little harder. It's hard to refocus. It's hard to get the energy up, even if you have Kevin Durant. But comparing last year with Durant and this year with Durant, which was a more impressive and harder year?
I think last year. More impressive and harder are different things. Last year, the way to bring him in, to make that work almost instantly, and to sweep round 1, sweep round 2, sweep round 3, and then go up 3-0 in the NBA Finals.
Yeah. San Antonio without their best player, New Orleans without their 2nd best player, and no bench.
You're talking about this year?
Yes.
So because this year was harder, isn't that more impressive?
I don't make it harder just because they went 7 games. I said it to be easier. San Antonio didn't have Kawhi. All right? New Orleans didn't have Boogie. Now, if they had all those players, and they had gone through that gauntlet, I would have been like, man, that's massively impressive.
The reason that this year in particular, I'm not giving them as much credit as last year is also because I don't like teams in general that punt on a regular season. And that's one of the reasons why people think, because I lived in Houston for 4 years, that's why I wanted the Rockets to win. I wanted the Rockets to win because I wanted the regular season to be meaningful. It's one of the reasons I thought the Chris Paul injury was so devastating. The Warriors were going to have to pay the bill that was due for punting on the regular season. But they were, whatever my feelings on it are, they were in an elimination game down 17 in the first quarter, down 10 at halftime. They blew the Rockets out in Game 6. They were in an elimination game down 11 at halftime. They blew the Rockets out in games. They didn't blow the Rockets out, but they ended up winning Game 7. Like, I give them credit for it. It's hard to do in the league. Like, so you're right, C, that it's not the same iteration team. It's not like Shaq and Kobe's Lakers, where it was, for all intents and purposes, the same guys. Shaq and Kobe's Lakers didn't go add Tracy McGrady, halfway through, and then it's like, hey, this is what we've got. I get that part of it, but it's still hard, man. And the mental and physical fatigue of playing this many consecutive 100-game seasons, I don't think can be discounted.
Yeah, now I disagree as far as the regular season. I don't think the regular season is that important. You know the reason why? Because I saw a higher seed in the Eastern Conference have home court advantage, and it didn't help. LeBron James went to Boston, won that. In the West, what happened? 65-win team, only happened 20 times. Houston was now one of those teams that didn't win the championships. 15 of those teams had won a championship. Houston won 65 games. It didn't matter. Game number 7, people talk about Chris Paul and all that. Golden State did win that game. So both teams went on the road, and I have seen Cleveland, not only this year, but the previous 2 seasons, the regular season, it didn't matter that much. So I'm in disagreement with you as far as the regular season, because the way I've seen it play, Cleveland, oh, man, y'all go ahead and have that. 1 seed, y'all can have that. We'll be a number 2. This year, we'll be a number 4. We saw Golden State this year as a number 2, still reaching the finals. So the regular season, I believe, with the NBA, unless they shorten the schedule, unless they take another 15 games off the schedule, 10 games off the schedule, which would make it more important at 82 games. If you get in the tournament, you got a chance.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.